machine? Because that website, I think they're based out of
I
Chicago.
don't know. He's pretty brand new.
Yeah, he's a seller.
He does something else too. I think he might be an engineer.
Are we on?
We're on.
All right, we're on.
Oh my
Ladies
gosh.
and gentlemen, we're here. Thank you for waiting for us.
3 minutes late. That's no
Only
big
3
deal.
minutes late. That is not bad.
Yeah. I
That
see
is
pro
not bad
streamers
at all.
come in like 90 minutes into it with a little animation.
Yeah, we need like sock puppet animations or something to just kind of dance on the screen until we're totally ready. So, well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for waiting. So, have we cracked the secret of 2,000-year-old concrete? Did an inventor cause an earthquake in New York City? And are honeybees finding landmines using drones? Well, you're going to find out about all that and more on a very, very special Inventor Conspiracy Theory edition of Inventor Friday. So tonight we're going to be doing just something a little bit different. It's kind of like, think of the Simpsons Treehouse of Terror after Halloween's already over. We are just going to be taking kind of a lighthearted look as best we can of conspiracy theories surrounding inventors. Actually, and I apologize, we were supposed to have some tinfoil hats around here, and I forgot to buy the tinfoil. So next year, though, we're definitely going to try and do that. So anyway, before we get started, I do want to mention our one of our sponsors, and that is Windstream Kinetic. So Windstream Kinetic is who is actually providing our internet here, and they have been so kind as to provide us with 1 gig fiber internet, which is what really makes this live stream possible. So if you are going to have a website, if you're going online, if you have a Facebook page, if you are doing whatever you need to do in commerce, well, not being on the internet in the 21st century is like not having your name in the phone book in the 20th. So you definitely want to check this out. Check out Kinetic Business. Go to kineticbusiness.com or business.windstream.com, and they will set you up. Also, tonight, I do want to mention, one second here, our guests tonight. With us tonight, we have Bennett Gatto. Bennett, tell everybody who you are, what you're all about.
Hey guys, I'm Bennett Gatto. I'm a physical therapist. I'm the founder of Innovate. We produce functional clothing apparel aimed at improving posture and reducing pain. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Leo and Eugenia, for having me on again.
Great to have you. Also with us tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Poole.
Hey, I'm Kevin Poole, Hemp Cattle Company. I'm a farmer located in Clark County that sells hemp-fed beef. I also have a company called Wildcat Hay where I sell specialty hay to horse farmers here in Kentucky. And I'm trying to put meat in vending machines.
Love it. Can't wait to buy the first one.
I know. I'm excited. The hay season, I put 450 rolls in the barn today, and I'm just about done, and I'm ready to dive back into it.
All right.
What time did you start today?
I was in the tractor by 7:30.
Okay.
Barbers start.
I'm not your
early
stereotypical
mornings.
farmer. Thank you, Eugenia.
Slacker.
It's not even light until like 7.
I
can't even
The
see.
time change.
know that took 5 seconds before she puts me on Front Street.
Also with us tonight is Teddy Rogers. Teddy, tell us who you are, what you're all about.
Hey all, Teddy Rogers, Anderson Rogers Construction. We are a commercial and residential contractor. We do run those separately, independently. We'll go a little farther for commercial. We are licensed in Kentucky, which is where our main office is located in Lexington. And we also are in Ohio, Indiana at times, Tennessee, and licensed in Florida. So
Love
we
it.
travel quite a bit.
And we have viewers from all over those places. So, yay. All right. Also with us tonight is Leo York.
Hey, everybody. VP Inventors Network Kentucky, copywriter who specializes in commercial screenplays, and I have a paranormal podcast called The 13th Floor.
What's the podcast again?
The 13th Floor.
Oh, how do I get on that one?
Spooky podcast. Also, last but not least, with us tonight is Eugenia Kelly.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I live here locally and I stalked these people and they let me come over and help. But I want to give a plug for Kentucky Inventors Network because everybody that joins us with these meetings, we get together and for example, one of the guests, George Burkhart, has really helped me in the few months that I've been a part of this. So if you're thinking about joining this group, you should really consider it.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank
having
you so much. Thank you for that shameless promotional plug. Usually I'm doing those, but I will take whatever I can get. All right, we've already talked about our sponsor. Also, you want to go down and check out, if you haven't, and if you want to become a part of what we're doing here, but part of our mission, part of what we're trying to do with inventors and entrepreneurs, well, you want to go to our website, kyinventors.org. All kinds of cool things on there, and stay tuned because we're going to have some changes coming, some really new cool stuff coming very soon, I promise. And also a new studio coming your way. So, but check out, in the meantime, check out our website and at kyinventors.org. You can check out things like what we did at the state fair last year. Check out some of the coolest new swag in the Inventorverse. Become a member, become part of our tribe. Join us today. Did you miss a meeting? Well, you can watch a replay by clicking right here. Powered Inventing Academy, we've got all kinds of courses. And oh, look, here's upcoming events. Well, there's Inventor Friday right there. So, anyway, definitely check us out and all that we're doing and all that we have on our channel and on our website, kyinventors.org. All right. Now, one more thing here real quick.
I'm a special guest. Leo, Bennett, and Eugenia are just, yes,
Regulars.
You're the special guest star.
I'm special.
You're special.
They keep telling me that. You're special too. You're lumped in with me.
Special guest stars.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know. We'll find out.
All right. Well, let's get started here. Let's see. Like I said, we're going to do some really, really interesting new things tonight, and one of those is we're going to talk about inventor conspiracy theories. And our first one tonight is we're going to talk about Rudolf Diesel. So, as the name implies, Rudolf Diesel was the inventor of the diesel engine. And he actually mysteriously disappeared on a steamship. And he mysteriously vanished on September 29th, 1913. So Rudolf Diesel, inventor of the engine that bears his name, disappears from a steamship, the steamship Dresden, while traveling from Antwerp, Belgium, to Harwich, England. On October 10th, the Belgian sailor aboard the steamer spotted a body floating in the water, and upon further investigation, turned out it was the body of Diesel's. He had patented a design for the diesel engine in 1892. The following year, he explained in a paper, Theory and Construction of Rational Heat Engine to Replace the Steam Engine in Contemporary Combustion Engine. Well, there's a mouthful. He called his invention a compression ignition engine that could burn any fuel. Later on, the prototypes he built would run on peanut or vegetable oil and needed no ignition system. Ignited the fuel, and it was extremely hot. So anyway, he disappears just mysteriously. And there's some other little factoids about him here. So some people were saying that maybe he might have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Was he killed? Was he pushed? Or did he actually jump himself? Some people think that maybe he was depressed and just jumped.
That's the argument for everything. Guys, mysterious.
Maybe he couldn't stand the fact that he was on a steamship.
There we go.
That could be. Or
Did you
was
look for-
No, I didn't. It's a terrible joke. Terrible joke.
so
I'll lean forward
or
on the good ones.
so he could have committed suicide, he could have jumped himself and died, or maybe he's still alive.
I wonder if this was a solo voyage.
Could he be
Nah.
Oh my God. I was wondering where you.
Vin Diesel, Rudolph
Nice.
Diesel?
Nice.
It looks like you, Bennett.
What?
Just need a shave.
Which
Just
one?
a shave
Cut
and
the hair.
shave your hair.
Which one?
The one on the left.
I'm not sure what she was getting at there,
The
man.
one on the left, of course.
Holy cow.
So what do y'all think?
I think he was pushed.
You think he was pushed? Why
Yeah.
do you think he was pushed?
I don't know. Just makes more sense. Why would he be floating around in a river? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's weird that of all the methods, if he did it himself, like why go on this voyage in the first place? I mean, he could have done a number of things at home. Seems like a lot of trouble to do that.
Yeah.
And also, do we know if anybody else was on the boat? I'm assuming this wasn't some solo powered craft. So nobody reported it missing, or I don't know. It's just weird that they just found a body.
They just found the body. Oh, look, it's
Yeah.
Rudolph Diesel.
Must have been sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a shameless plug to Don. I'd like to say something. It's hard being an inventor, and without the support of websites and groups like this, sometimes you just want to jump off a ship. And I'm really landing on thick here.
Yes, yes, you
If
are.
he had a group like Kentucky's Inventors Network, maybe he wouldn't have jumped off the steamship. I mean, maybe it was too much irony that he was being forced down the river
If he'd
by the
all
power of
been
steam
part-
while he was inventing a diesel engine. And that could have been, and he just couldn't take the irony and he leaped. But if he had friends like Eugenia, he wouldn't do that.
Also, I wonder how long a voyage that was. 'Cause on to England.
Doesn't the shameless
Yeah, part of it.
plug taste better
It
when
only belonged to our group.
doesn't the shameless plug taste better when say it's made by other people, Don? Like just like a sandwich, it just tastes better,
It's made by someone.
That sandwich is a burger.
The shameless plug sandwich that I'm giving Don here.
Special.
God, it went from a conspiracy theory to a love fest, didn't it? Like real fast, huh? Okay, enough of me.
Secure that
I'm
permanent
done.
spot.
I'll lean back.
Oh, good.
Going from guest to permanent spot, right?
Yeah, I'm
More
going for it. I'm
special.
going for it all.
Yeah.
I want to be here every week.
You know that we're paid to be here.
What?
Yeah, the longstanding guests.
Oh,
The long stand.
special. We're free.
Ah, that's right.
Special
Cheap.
guest.
All right.
They feed us.
Oh, all right. Up next, the mystery of Roman concrete. And actually, we're going to have Eugenia take this one.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you going to share these?
Yes, I am. Guess that would be a good idea.
So
wouldn't
in
it?
honor of our builder, we're going to talk about concrete.
I like it.
I used to
Yes,
help
we are.
with concrete.
Oh, nice.
Do not like to feel concrete on my fingers.
No, no.
And we're going to talk about the ancient Romans while Don is sharing his screen.
There we go.
Well, that's not that, is it?
It is about the quick lime. That is what they call the magic ingredient. Those, can you leave it on the structures there?
Yep, can do.
Based on the way the Romans used their special recipe for concrete is still here 2,000 years.
Yeah.
So the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, otherwise known as MIT researchers, they determined that it is related to quicklime. Quicklime is made out of calcium oxide. They said that it has self-healing properties for concrete. I find that a very interesting terminology, self-healing concrete.
Yeah.
They said that the quick lime, it forms lumps. And then when water penetrates that for a crack, then it will recrystallize and fill a crack. How big do you think the cracks are? Because what they found was the Roman-inspired concrete heals cracks up to 6 millimeters wide, which is 0.2 inches.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't see how that's very self-healing. Or is that just me not being someone who knows concrete?
You gotta remember that these damage is happening very slowly and small over a shorter period of time. So we're not talking about sudden potholes, we're talking about potholes being prevented in the first place by virtue of this healing taking place over a while.
So stress cracking in, modern concrete is, typically showing failure. It's showing failure in whereas and because I actually have looked into this before because it's just interesting, but their mixture, the volcanic ash, like seaweed, like all kinds of things created, as it says, and I don't know how accurate it is, but that, as those cracks formed, they self-healed, which is, again, it's a very interesting concept to think of, but it does make sense. Because the mixture is so much different. What's, sand, gravel, and a few other things in modern mixture, and the failure on it is what, 50, 100 years, maybe even less, depending on how well it's mixed, the density of it and all. But it's interesting. I mean, it is certainly interesting theories, but that stuff's been around thousands of years at this point.
And that's, I mean, to me, that's the point of it. It's okay, you've got these Roman aqueducts, they're 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
They're still there, they didn't crumble. But we've got,
We have seawalls
we've got
down in Florida.
Nicholasville Road that's
Yeah.
like full of potholes.
Yeah.
Why can't they keep that for like 5 years intact?
Well, and it's exposure to the same exact thing because the potholes, a lot of it's caused by, salt, the deterioration when it snows. They put that on the road, it eats through it. Modern concrete exposed to salt will crackle on top and often lose its surface and start exposing its gravel within it. So the same thing is also happening in places like down in Florida where they're building seawalls to expand canals. Those seawalls fail over a period of, 15, 20 years
Because of the salt.
because of the salt.
Wow.
That salt is so erosive, it's destroying that. And then any of the steel that's in it that they, use to give it additional structural integrity is rotting from within. So it's losing its structural integrity. The concrete's failing over time. So
How many roads are made out of concrete these days?
well, they're mostly not. It's asphalt and it's,
Yeah.
and it's dense grade underneath of it. But even the ones
Yeah.
that are made out of concrete, because you go down places like,
Where expansion
Georgia,
concrete, yeah, where
other places,
where you're going down that,
you
that's
can feel
concrete,
it.
yeah.
That's concrete and the density is there and higher, but it's going to fail at a similar rate and it's much more expensive to replace than asphalt is.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the use of asphalt is going to be far more
Yeah.
maintenance friendly down the road. It's going to be far easier to replace, far more economical. Whereas, stripping it and stripping the 2.5 inch or 2 inch, inch and a half, whatever it is, top, and then resurfacing it is much cheaper than pulling 4, 6, 8 inches of concrete up from the ground
Mhm.
and repouring that. So I think that it's a choice of lesser evil.
We could use hempcrete.
Well,
Have you heard of hempcrete?
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah, it is
Is
a
it a
thing.
thing?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Cool.
It's
Do
pretty
tell.
daggone. I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently, but
You can actually 3D print houses now.
it's
Really?
hempcrete, yeah.
It's really cool. Basically, instead of the
Most
rebar
versatile
that
plant of
they made,
mankind's ever
they
been given.
Add a bunch of hemp, and so the cellulose works kind of the way rebar does.
There you go.
Structural integrity.
Yeah, yeah. This one
it's
guy.
the fibers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
not that familiar with it, but I think it's the fibers from it.
Mhm.
Kind of almost like, like a hair, like it's a string
Yeah.
tying it
Just
together.
told-
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
So if you took that and you combine that with whatever we figured out what the Romans
Yeah,
did,
there we go.
I wonder if that
Roman
would.
hempcrete.
That's
Well, and you got to think like why did they choose that? Well, sometimes it's what's available, so
Yeah.
the materials that were available there, I think they stumbled upon a mixture that they didn't know was going to be that great last long. They just noticed that after it settled, it was dense. I don't think longevity was necessarily in their mindset.
So you think they just kind of, they
I
stumbled
think-
on it by
I think
accident?
most builders stumble upon a lot of these ideas. and
They weren't
concepts they come
privy
up with.
to, oh, we figured out this. It's
Yeah.
like, nah, hey, we got
Nah,
this
well,
stuff
it's not,
down here.
it's, yeah, because there was, but there was a lot of clever engineers back then. They realized that
Yeah.
they could mold it into a very dense material that hardened to a very, so the mixture of materials, I think it's the location thing. That's what it was available. Somebody started making it and using it to make bricks or make stones, and once they realized how it hardened, they were like, oh, we've got something good here. And then they started building bigger and greater things.
So that begs the question, if we have cracked what they did and it actually works like the Roman concrete did, are we making it now and is somebody making it and selling it and using it? That's
Probably due to resources, it'd probably be extremely expensive to try to reproduce. If you think about it, maybe they have it cracked to a degree. Maybe they've got some of the science down, and
Yeah.
somebody's probably tried to create it and been successful. And they could be testing it over the last 80, 100 years to see how it's holding up, to see, because the articles they write about it, they seem pretty sure of themselves as this thing self-healing its cracks. And
in the
Well, I
lab.
wonder how much
But-
different, wonder how much
but-
different their lime in over there is
Yeah.
from Kentucky lime. I mean, we're notorious for lime here in Kentucky.
We are.
But
Maybe
here's the
we
thing,
need
it's
to
like
make
now
a
we
Kentucky Kirk.
now we use things like
concrete.
calcium to accelerate
we
the
do.
drying time too.
Yeah.
Like, so we use
Keep it up.
calcium additives during the winter in
Mhm.
order to, add, a faster drying time, because it's colder and it's going to take longer to cure. And they don't want to be there all day. So in order to set it up. So there's similar techniques that are applied from what's making that stronger. I don't know
Interesting.
all the science behind it.
But are we really trying to build things that last?
Good point.
No, because if you look at appliances, old refrigerators, old, stoves, old washers, dryers, things like that, they lasted forever. You can blame some of that on international trade, I think, because, China knows American, consumers like pretty things. They don't necessarily care if it is super functional. So people go out and buy, I'm going to drop a few names, Frigidaire or Whirlpool or something that's got a lot of cheaper parts. And then, rather than go spend $5,000 on a refrigerator, they'd rather spend two. And they could get something that would last longer because it matches what they want it stylistically. It's the same reason people go to Lowe's and buy single piece vanities instead of getting a really quality built, locally built, Amish built, however you want to say, piece of, furniture that's going to last them hundreds of years. They'll go buy a cheaply made, piece of furniture that, gets kicked the wrong way by one of the kids. It's door's gonna fall off or whatever. And it's not gonna be worth repairing because it's never a quality piece to begin with. So we like things that look pretty. We don't necessarily need them to be real quality.
I wonder if there's a segment or maybe a growing segment of folks out there, because there's a subreddit out there called Buy It for Life. And it's people that are on the prowl for, oh, I just found the refrigerator that will last 50 years. It's those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I always have wondered if you picked something like that, let's say, refrigerators for lack of a better subject, and you actually had made them that lasted 50 years and they were $5,000 too. Would people buy them? Would people?
I bought a Speed Queen wash machine because they're about indestructible. And I paid extra money for it. So to answer your question, I would. If it's not too much more,
Yeah.
I do believe you have both. I think you have both types. You have the type that are looking at things and they have a very short-sighted vision of it. I think you have people that look more long-term. And then you also have people who know themselves as being self-destructive. So I tend to like cheap things because I'm rough on things.
Yeah.
So I don't, somebody bought me a very nice, bottle of bourbon and I was like, oh, you don't know me that well. I was like, I like cheap things. I do not like nice things. And, because I'm going to drink that bourbon. I'm probably not even going to sip on it. I'm going to, and that's kind of how I look at it. It's like when I'm in somebody's house that has really nice antique furniture, I'm like, shit, You know, I have to be more careful in here. Can't put my
Right.
feet up. I
Don't want to
can't,
break anything.
you know, because I am prone to it. So I'm not looking to put high quality stuff in my home. But my wife has a lot of nice antique stuff. And I'm constantly like, feel nervous around all that stuff. So
Bull in the china shop.
I am definitely a little china shop. And if you have kids too, and I tell people that kind of stuff too, like we have really great quality materials that are going to be nice and they're going to last you a long time. But if you have dogs and if you have kids, like good luck keeping that for a long time. So buy some cheap carpet until they grow up to a more manageable age or, you know, whatever, because yeah, you're going to have scratched up hardwood. You're going to have, you know, your kids are going to wear the finish and draw crowns on your walls and they're just going to do those kind of things. So you're going to have both types, but I do think that there's a certain direct initiative to build cheaper stuff.
Interesting.
So
Oh, I think it is industry led.
Intentional
Yeah.
obsolescence.
Yeah.
they realize that building stuff that lasts forever is not a very good business strategy if you want to
Exactly.
continue to resell.
Right. Yeah.
People aren't gonna spend the dollars that it takes to get the nice stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. They can't sell that as many of those products.
But you don't hear about the really expensive nice stuff breaking down nearly as much. You know, it's kind of like a
No.
Toyota versus some of the other vehicles. I have Toyotas; those things will run forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those things. Whereas I've owned some F-150s that, you know, I replaced the spark plugs in the engine head 3 times before the transmission went out, and then I put a new engine in it that it didn't last 10 years.
Yeah.
Whereas I had a Toyota that had 280,000 miles on it. I bought it for $18,000 and sold it for $15,000 3 years later. So the value added of just a quality thing and the resale side of it. But again, we as sometimes consumers like pretty things. The Ford trucks are pretty too,
Would you
but
buy,
I wouldn't buy
would you
Ford.
buy pretty concrete?
I'd buy pretty concrete, especially if it was very. I like attractive concrete. But you know, if they said, "Hey, you know, you buy a concrete that's $250 a yard versus $150 a yard, and it'll last you 20 years longer," people would buy into that. You know, I think. You know, so I think people build things now on a kind of 100-year basis. Not everything in there is a 100-year basis, though. A lot of it. That's why they have a 10-year warranty on HVAC systems. It used to be 5. My air compressor went out on my 5-year warranty HVAC on one of my rental properties is 6 years. So I had to pay $1,100 to replace a compressor in a 6-year-old HVAC system.
Ooh.
Now they give you 10 years. So they were like, all right, 5's maybe not enough, you know, but now they give you 10. And that you can damn well guarantee, especially in places like Florida, you get 10 years out of it, you're doing well. Because again, that salt life is destroying so much stuff down there. So yeah, it's obviously I could probably talk about this forever. Been exposed to it for 25 years.
Saltwater bad.
Thank you for being our Roman concrete expert.
Absolutely. I didn't know I was Roman concrete.
You are now.
Historic.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. Tesla's earthquake machine. And Leo's going to take this one.
Yeah, Leo, tell us about this.
Can do. Everybody knows about Tesla, and there's a lot of weird theories about it. That he had a machine, death ray, he was in contact with angels or aliens. This is actually kind of a more plausible theory about him. So everybody knows, I would imagine, that he's famous for working with electricity. And he also had the very novel idea that you can convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. And so in the 1890s, mid 1890s, he started working on a machine that could oscillate. And then the notion was if he had these oscillations hit the proper frequency or resonant frequency, it could be sent to a receiver, and that receiver could then convert it into an electric current, which is insanely advanced, like in terms of like a concept. And scroll down a little bit, you'll even see the patent for it, which again looks like, I know we talk about this almost every live stream, but it looks like it was written or illustrated a couple of years ago instead of the 1890s. So anyway, 1897, it's ready. He's going to actually test it out. And what's interesting about that is people called the cops. And they called the cops because they thought that it was an earthquake. According to witnesses, you stop right a little higher. There we go. According to witnesses, this is a quote. He put his little, actually, it's going to be a paraphrase. He put this little vibrational device into his coat pocket. I don't know what YouTube censoring us.
Nice work, Leo.
Building down to Wall Street district. He found one 10 stories of steel framework without a brick or stone laid on it. He clamped the vibrational device to one of the beams and forced with the adjustment until he got it. So, according to Tesla himself, the structure started to wobble and oscillate and, potentially break down until it actually fell to the ground. So this is like sci-fi. This is some steampunk stuff, but it really did happen. Like, he didn't cause an earthquake, but he caused the symptoms of an earthquake. Like, people thought there was a quake. So just talk about amazing, like how ahead of his time this guy was to come up with something that if somebody came out with that today, I'd be skeptical. And he came out with it like 30 years after the Civil War. It's insane.
You just read about it. I still don't understand. So what is the vibration? Was it the vibration of the machine that caused this? So in other words, it's like, was it just vibrating?
I don't know if
But
you
it was an aftershock or it was an effect of the machine that was.
effect of the machine. So I don't know if you've ever seen that bridge, that footage of that bridge that like
Yes.
looks like
Yeah.
it's turned to liquid. That's resonant frequency. You can actually get something to vibrate with the right frequency. Same way an opera singer.
Wasn't there like a hint of this in that silly movie with John Travolta or something when he's talking about he could smell when an earthquake was going to happen because of the frequency of an earthquake?
Oh,
That's a new one
no.
on me. What?
I don't think John Travolta was.
No, it was,
Oh,
remember when his brain was getting squeezed and he was a smart guy?
Phenomenon?
Phenomenon, yeah.
Oh,
And he
okay,
could
okay.
smell
Yeah.
the waves of an earthquake. And I think, is that what he was tapping into? Is that what you're saying?
Sort of. I mean, his idea was if you get something to vibrate the right frequency, you can send it to a receiver and it can turn those physical vibrations into electrical energy. So you could basically store mechanical energy as electrical energy and then transmit it to electrical energy. So you could pretty much turn the oscillations of a machine, in this case, into electricity. That was the logic. But then when he tested it on a building, and I don't know if this was deliberate or not, but he basically sent the building down. So he did to a building what the wind in the right conditions did to that bridge, or what an opera singer will do to a wine glass.
Huh.
It's a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, oh, snap, it is. That's exactly what it is.
And they're saying it was the size of a pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
carried
it fit in his coat pocket.
Yeah.
So the modern day.
A 10
vibrator.
story, was it a 10-story
Yeah.
building?
Now you're gonna get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
He had totally avoided that. I think Don needs to proofread the article. Leo was like a magician. The most amazing thing of that whole thing was watching Leo dodge the bullets.
You're not sponsored
It was
by
awesome.
attendees.com.
Don, do a little proofreading before you do your conspiracy theories up here.
Might have to get some of those
That was
readers
incredible.
to see what
Yeah,
we're talking
well,
about.
that begs the big question. Do you all think this could be reverse engineered today? Somebody could utilize this? Or is it just lost?
Oh, I don't know. It sounds like
I mean,
something
they've
out of the
gotten
movies,
so
but
good with frequencies. I mean, and
Now it's being used for cancer.
well,
Cancer has a certain frequency that healthy cells don't have.
there's
not to
There's
bring
so much
concrete
things going.
back into this.
oh, here we go. Here we go.
When they're building concrete walls, they're vibrating it in.
Oh yeah.
Exciter,
Oh, that's
but
true.
The uses,
Yeah.
the uses of
Saw a video of the other
Yeah,
guy
I
the
mean-
other day using a sawzall to vibrate concrete.
Yeah.
And just putting it right up against there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's gonna get it down in there and compact it better.
In manufacturing processes.
I'll bring up concrete also.
So, I'd see a lot of these, automatic bottlers.
Mhm.
So, you take the bottles through and then the lids would come out of this hopper and they'd come down and then it automatically put the screws on the bottles, screw caps on the bottles. And in order to get the lids, these, just a big bin of plastic lids out of that bin and into the feeder, it was all vibration. It was nothing. And they were just, they marched
Mhm.
across a flat plane. And I always was fascinated by that. I said, how do they do that? Just by vibrating them a certain way. So, plus the Mythbusters. Did anybody ever see the Mythbusters episode? So they actually tried to bust this. So they built one, they put it on a bridge. They made the traffic stop,
Oh, goodness.
but they put it on a bridge, but they swear, they said, yeah, it's vibrating. When they turned it off, they were like, we don't want to do anything
Wow.
damaging to this, but yeah, the bridge vibrated. It didn't fall apart. So they, they were, so it's, yeah, kind of trippy. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, let's move on to
Oh, this is a good subject. I like this one.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the next one.
Oh, this is good.
So the next one actually is a story that I've actually been to this Cracker Barrel. So this is all about Stanley Meyer. If you don't know who Stanley Meyer is, let me introduce him to you. Stanley, there we go. Stanley is the alleged inventor. I can get these pop-ups to go away.
He's almost like a cautionary tale now for inventors that change things.
So the creator of the water-powered car died shouting, "They poisoned me." So this is the story of Stanley Meyer. There he actually is with his water-powered car. And story of Stanley Meyer blends tragedy with conspiracy. He's gained fame to invent a car that ran on water. And his tale ended dramatically in 1998 at a Cracker Barrel restaurant. I know exactly which one, and I've been there. Not while he was there.
I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, I survived. I did not order.
Uncle Herschel's favorite didn't take him down.
But if something was going to, it'd have probably been that. During dinner, Meyer suddenly clutched his neck, ran outside, shouting, "They poisoned me." Moments later, he collapsed and died. These final desperate words fueled years of conspiracy theories. Science clearly shows his water-powered car claims were impossible. Well, science says a lot of things. But 2 years before his death, a court already declared his work a fraud. But, again, was it or was it not? So during the 1990s, Meyer portrayed himself as a visionary inventor, challenging the establishment. So he has a water fuel cell car. So I want to say there was vibration involved with this one.
Oh wow! Back to vibration.
So
we dodged that bullet.
but it was a fuel cell. So it basically made oxygen, hydrogen out of the water, and then had a gas output. Now there's something where they say it's not right, it's impossible. Again, everybody has their idea about it. Did Stanley Meyer die because he knew how to water into fuel? So March 20th. Stanley Meyer dined with his twin brother Stephen and several foreign investors at a Cracker Barrel in Grove City, Ohio. Again, right where that is. According to Stephen, Meyer suddenly grabbed his throat, exclaimed he'd been poisoned. He collapsed and died. Of course, it spawned a lot of attention. And there's, let's see, here's some more on him. I love how they just like do.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awful?
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
There's what AI will get you.
Once again, Don not proofreading the websites he's pulling these conspiracies off of.
So he was not a physicist or an engineer by training, although, again, devil's advocate. You don't have to be trained sometimes to come up with something in a certain field. Come up with you're actually thinking outside the box. He called a water fuel cell. He had a lot of threats. Yeah, a lot of paranoia. As his paranoia grew, he stopped trusting people.
Whatever happened to his car?
It was seized, wasn't it?
I think it was like in a garage for a long time, and then it could have been seized. I don't know. Did you see
seized? And I was like,
Seized?
yeah, as in by the authorities, as in it's fake, it's not real.
But we
But we have to confiscate it
Happened to Tesla too. A
Well,
lot of
yeah.
his weirdest stuff was seized. So, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
water
odd.
powered car be eating into a lot of profit.
Stop.
So,
It's
do you?
gonna land on your little.
it is a cautionary tale to
Yeah.
if you go up against it, you invent a floating car and cut all the tire guys out, and there you go, you're dead. I mean,
Big tire comes to
I
get
can't
you.
tell you how many times you'll be watching a video and you go down the comment section and be like, remember Stanley and what what they did to him? You know what I'm saying? It's a comment that gets floated around a lot,
Yeah.
and the Inventors
It's,
network has listen,
business can be brutal.
it's brutal.
Well, was it, here's one for you. Wasn't the hemp, basically villainized?
Oh,
the fact-
sure.
Like the reason they villainized and outlawed marijuana was to
It all
basically
was
prevent
tied in
hemp
together, stage
from, being made into paper and all the other things that
yeah,
are usable.
bro, for the war effort, all
I
kinds
think
of
that,
stuff.
and so, I've heard Joe Rogan talk about that.
Oh,
No shameless plug.
the hemp is obviously, and it's a it's a word that gets thrown around today. I was just telling him beforehand. I think I just got turned down for insurance because I think somebody read my website and didn't want to insure my farm because they didn't understand what they were reading on my website.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm gonna go shopping around for a different insurance.
I wonder who the hempwood insurance guys are.
And listen, that guy.
You need to call him
Yeah,
up.
whoever it is.
Well,
But it's just a catchword. I mean, some people won't even talk to me, and when I had my store because they thought that I was pushing. I'm not. I have no idea. But that's how people work, and until you figure out how to change people, that's just going to continue.
Well, the villainization of marijuana and what they said it was doing to people,
What
make
happened?
them go crazy and do all.
They landed helicopters on our farm,
Madness.
and
Yeah.
there's a they landed. We got cited in the late '80s because we were already past the point of our farm because of the natural lime. It comes back to lime, concrete. Don't get started again. But the natural lime on our farm grew some of the best wild hemp at the University of New York. NYU students were driving down, claiming they were bird watchers, and were cutting wild hemp off our farm to cut marijuana, make it go further.
Yeah.
So they were mixing it and making, like I guess hash should be what, if you cut, marijuana. And so, but it still had enough THC in it that they could stretch it even further and make more money. And so they were coming down and invading Clark County and telling all the local peoples when they stopped at a gas station or a store,
We're here for
they
the
were,
Robins.
no, we're here to bird watchers.
We're just bird watching. Okay.
There's actually, I'll if you want me to, if you're interested in this at all, I'll send you the article. It's actually in the New York Times,
Weird.
and I still have it on microfiche.
Well,
But it's great.
so I think in summary, I think what you're saying is
The
basically
microfiche
if
is what they
Stanley,
use
if
before they
anybody
had
thought
computers.
Stanley's invention was real, they would have likely killed him for it.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't, even if he was full of it and he was not able to produce this, if they thought it was a real threat, they would have maybe killed him for it.
First of all, not
Can I
that.
say something?
Go ahead.
I thought you were gonna say that now that we're gonna pose ourselves as bird watchers.
No, I'm just saying. You have to.
I've got a new plan.
I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, but if the evidence leads you to a certain point and it does threaten other people, then it seems to be more legitimate than others. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe the earth is flat. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bit of a doubting Thomas, you know what I'm saying, if you know what that means. But I'm just, if there's a certain point where if there's a certain threat to somebody who's making a lot of money, obviously oil is in everything.
Yeah.
And it, either by accident or on purpose, there's something to it. There might be something to it. Now he could have had 3/4 of the problem solved, and I mean, you know what I'm saying, and was getting too close. He flew a little too close to the sun. You know what I'm saying, and obviously that car you saw that he's in his garage that he's pictured with, he was driving her in parades.
Yeah.
Or something, and where did the car go? I mean,
Well,
and
here is
geez, I love.
The car could have had a gasoline component though.
hidden.
Yes, I mean. would
Okay.
there have been an
Well,
extra
snuck
yeah,
a little.
there was
little.
Yeah, there was another person that did like a fake three-wheeler and he had it all framed out of wood and like
It
but
had
he
a
was,
fake gas tank.
yeah, there was,
Wow.
so
There's that. Have you seen that kid that's melting plastic down over in Africa and making fuel? Have you seen that? This
I
guy?
think I have.
You've seen that? He's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
He's gone a little viral.
Yeah.
He's looks like a bunch of hoodoo to me, but I don't know what he's doing. Obviously, and it's above my pay grade.
He's allegedly got it going though.
But he's melting. He's figured out how to take worthless plastic and make gas. I think he's making. Is he making gas? He's making gas. I think.
Running the engine, yeah.
I don't know if he's making diesel or gas, but he's making
Drop of-
fuel.
He's gonna drown in
It's
3
running the
inches of
engine.
I mean, then you got these yahoos that are putting what they're putting what. I mean, there's guys that say that you can make a few modifications going back to your Rudolph diesel. There's guys that are putting what old used fry oil from restaurants, right?
Somebody drove across the country in one of those.
And it, because the engine is just all it
They
takes
would
is all
stop
it
at a
takes.
fast food restaurant,
Yes,
get their used oil, and then
listen, you get too
Take a bill.
close to bring back this Roman concrete.
yeah. Nobody's. Nobody's.
I
I don't think you're gonna get whacked for that.
Like anybody safe.
You know, there's
Start
Triple
bringing
Blake
that
says
back.
that the African plastic guy has been debunked. So
He has been debunked.
that's-
Well,
Okay.
it doesn't take long.
Yeah,
But he was getting a lot of. I think he was getting money. I think people are sending him money because they really want it to happen.
Well, I
But
mean,
sometimes if it's too good to be true, it is. Sometimes
I will say we have had our share over the last 20, 30 years of inventors that have come in. I have invented free energy.
Oh.
I've invented, and we've actually developed this rule that we have. So when you join us and you come to our workshop, by the way, if you become a member, you can join us for our workshops. You claim that you have invented time travel or something like that. Well, there's one rule. There's no problem. All you have to do is come in with a device, take us all forward in time. One day we can come back with tomorrow's lottery numbers. That's all you have to do. Just prove it. So, but that's kind of the underlying. Okay, you've got to prove it because we've had folks come in and, oh, well, you see, I can't do this on a big scale yet because it's
like that one guy. Remember that one guy in the 70s that claimed to be able to move the paper he was blowing with his lips.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
remember that guy?
Yeah.
You got to prove it.
But yeah, all you have to do is prove it. So, and this kind of begs, okay, if he was not faking it, if he was able, look at the inside, look for a hidden gas tank, whatever, but he was actually able to prove it by driving around with his buggy.
We'll never know.
Maybe. Yeah.
They won. They
Yeah.
won. They won. They beat him. They killed him.
Yeah.
They whacked him with
Arsenic
Uncle
in it.
Herschel's favorite and hash brown casserole. I tell you what, I'll never go on a Cracker Barrel and think the same. That's a sad day in my life because I really enjoy Cracker Barrel.
Oh, goodness. So what do you think, Bennett? You think you're telling the truth? You think technology was real?
Yeah, I think he definitely.
I do.
Power his car with water.
I'm giving him a thumbs up on this one. It's one of the, and I don't know about these.
There's been other people since then who have also ended up dead. That
Yeah.
have claimed that there was a guy up in Cleveland, Ohio, that he was able to power an engine with water, and he mysteriously dead too. He didn't make it. I think it's definitely capable.
Think of like even hybrid energy and like the ability to make the fueling go longer, farther distances.
Yeah.
Like they say, I don't know who they is, but
Whoever they are.
they say that technology's been around for a long time. Like there was people saying that you could go 100 miles on a gallon,
I mean,
many years ago, and the gas companies bought that technology.
sophomore year of college, we built a little like hydrogen compressor and put it actually drilled into the intake, and my buddy's dad's truck.
Yes, I've
Hooked
seen
it
it
up to the
done.
battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it out of a mason jar and had it going. And we did. We gained like 4 miles to the gallon on his truck. And we
I've
just
seen this.
this was a
Yeah.
mason jar with water, and we had bolts and washers and put it in there, like snuggled it in, zip tied the thing into it so it couldn't break, and then ran hose so that the gas output went right into the intake. So we had to actually drill into the engine, and it worked. And that was
You haven't seen the guys that have done this
that was
before?
us just digging
Increase
around
get,
in, you know,
mileage.
Your friend's still alive.
do what?
Is he still alive?
There's people that
Because he didn't master
wait,
Yeah, he didn't-
wait, that's common knowledge.
Get him.
Yeah, like this.
That's
Yeah, this
that's
is like,
common
you can
knowledge. They've
take
been doing
this-
that. That's been done for a
Yeah,
while.
exactly. And so like that kind of stuff's done. Like
It-
so
But
you
but
can-
first of all, what it does is it just it maxes out
correct.
the efficiency of the fuel.
Of the burn. Yeah.
Yeah, of the burn, but you do lose power by doing it. That's known. So
Yeah,
it's
nothing
it's just
special.
an exchange
Good
of
parade cars.
huh?
Good parade cars.
No, I mean like you can take a Mustang and turn it into a Yugo if you want it. You know what I'm saying? But people want to be able to get up and go.
Right.
They pay for that. I mean, we don't.
The
The
big
world's
look-
going to shit, and people still driving Yukons and SUVs because they want to.
The ability to be able to
People are people.
the ability to be
Well,
able to turn water.
Yeah.
into
also
power
having a lot of
there.
kids.
They want to do what they want to do. I mean,
If you're driving a Yukon, you got family of 4 or 5. Like,
what are you talking about, dude?
A Yukon
these
that
days-
runs on water. That's what I want.
yeah.
Kids these days, I mean, they don't want
One
to.
that runs on potatoes.
They don't drive a car. They don't, the guys in high school, they don't drive cars to school. They drive trucks because it's a status position. There's a reason why I drive a Dodge 4500 because I deliver hay for a living. Okay, I have to drive this truck. No lift, no nothing, with a flatbed on it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You've seen this monster I drive down the road. I'll pull up next to a Toyota Tundra and it's bigger than my truck.
It's
Mhm.
just
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frame wise, no, but it's meant to look like it's a huge truck next to a Toyota Tundra. It looks bigger because of it's meant to look as big as my truck because
Big,
it's
rounded,
big round edges, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And I'll be like, he's bigger than I am.
Yeah.
He
Driving
needs
a
to be
Dodge
delivering
4500. What?
He needs
I
to be
can
delivering
deliver
hay.
it. That way.
I drive. Hold on. I bought my in-laws T100. Now, do you know what a T100 is? It was the first Tundra. So they had the Tacoma, and then they wanted to do a larger truck, and they did something called the T100 in 1993. I have a T100 the first year, and it is just barely a big above a Toyota. When I pull my T100 next to a Toyota Tundra, which is what it is now, they're just like two different trucks. I mean, same 4-wheel drive, same everything. Just my truck is just tiny compared to what they. So it's I mean, you could say it's bravado, male ego. Yeah, I'll leave. I'll avoid the the connotations like Leo did. But I'm just saying there's something there.
Yeah.
You know.
Status symbol.
Anyway.
Eugenia, what do you think? You
Enough
think he
of it.
was? You think he believed what he had? Do you think it was real?
What I really appreciated was his smile in the picture with his
Car. Yeah.
It looked like he believed it, didn't it?
He wasn't
He seemed to be
smiling,
very, very
smiling.
proud.
Spoke to you.
What year was that, by the way?
98's when he died, so it had to be like probably
Wow.
the 90s. Probably the 90s.
Hey, what about the people that I mean, what about the people that knew him? That they've been. I mean, what about the
I'd
people
love
that
to
actually
see-
saw the car that go,
I'd
I'd
an
like-
interview with Steven. Yeah, exactly.
huh?
I'd love to see an interview with his twin brother. See what his thoughts.
Is he alive?
Yeah, I
I
would,
I would
I
like to
would,
see a movie made about it too.
Yeah.
yeah, that would be interesting. Well, I'll tell you my take. I think his last words said a lot
Yeah.
about whether it was real, whether it was not. I think he believed it. I think he believed he had
I
something.
mean, who comes running out of a damn Cracker Barrel saying he poisoned me?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's-
Come on now.
we've-
Oh, so you don't eat at McDonald's. You don't eat at Cracker Barrel. We got a snob over here.
I actually do love some Cracker Barrel.
Okay, all right.
My wife does not.
Come on
like
now.
Cracker Barrel.
Come on now.
My wife's not a Cracker
I
Barrel
would
fan.
never eat
She
at
might come
Cracker
out-
Barrel.
She might run out of there going, "They poisoned me."
Well, you know what? Yeah.
She's also not dropping dead when she hits it.
No.
No, not literally.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Figuratively.
This guy actually died.
Good eating.
Oh,
Don't you
goodness.
think the fact that we do not have a water powered car
Yet?
all these years later, that they probably did not poison him?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think we
BMW
see.
did
What
do
do you think,
research
Leo?
on a water car.
It's not the
Oh,
only one that's
what'd you say,
died.
Volkswagen?
BMW.
Oh, I was gonna say Volkswagen.
Ugh.
They're worse. They're terrible what they did. Do you remember all what they did? You ever watch
Talking
that?
about the emissions line?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those. You know what I'm talking about that?
Yeah, they
Oh, they.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they lied.
Yeah, yeah.
I still like beetles though.
Yeah.
And speaking of beetles, or more accurately, other insects, I'm using it as a segue.
Yeah.
I love it.
Um,
Love it, love it, love it.
I remember about a decade ago, people started training bees to be bomb sniffers, the same way that you would teach a dog, except a lot cheaper, a lot quicker, and a lot more portable. What they would do is they would teach bees to basically what they would do is they would expose bees to explosive incendiary devices. They have a great sense of smell, and then they would give them sugar. And so as a result, they would get so acclimated to that, like Pavlov's dog and the bells, that they would stick their tongues out when they smelled a bomb. And so you would literally, there were TSA agents who had these little cartridges that just had a single bee in it, and you hovered over the luggage, and if you looked close, and if it stuck its tongue out.
Wait,
something would
bees
come in.
have tongues?
Oh, yeah, it's called a proboscis.
No.
Yeah, that's how they drink nectar. They stick it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They turn flower into a Capri Sun, basically.
Okay, okay. But they call it a tongue?
I call it a tongue. It's a
Okay,
proboscis. So this technology has been updated now to where they're using it on the battlefield, and they're having bees actively seek out landmines and other incendiary devices.
Why not?
And what's really cool about it is when I first read the article, I was like, okay, so how do drones factor into this? Drones actually have nothing to do with what the bees are naturally doing. The drones don't help the bees at all. The drones help the people follow the bees more accurately so they can find out and mark, via satellite and other means, where those bombs are. And so I just think that's absolutely amazing that you've got an animal that's been around for a gazillion years, that only has about 100,000 neurons, and it's doing work that you would take a year to train a person and probably a year to train a dog. And not only that, you don't have to worry about them setting off the bombs because they're teeny tiny and they can fly. So it's just like such an amazing technology. And again, the drones are just used to follow the bees. That's all the drones are for.
You
So-
see, this is why I'm glad you
Yeah.
researched this a lot better than I think I would have, because I just kept picturing bees riding around inside of drones.
I don't think they'd appreciate that. Yeah, they don't get that. Oh, goodness. So do you guys think that there's other things that can be reverse engineered from nature like that? I know that's an entire discipline, but
I lost in that what was that grant money that this lady, I went to the presentation where they actually announced it, and there was a lot of interesting stuff, but this one lady was using insects that had been, she had, I don't know, I don't get this wrong, modified or somehow was using it to keep fungus and predators to corn and soybeans. And she would literally go out into a cornfield and unleash, like I said, I'm butchering this because, and she opens a box and they go out and, aphids or fungus that could grow on corn, that we use chemicals to change.
Sure.
Instead of using a chemical, you use these bugs. Now, most of the time that only opens up some sort of other Pandora's box, when you do, whatever. But this one actually seemed to be a natural fit with no threat, and she got $100,000 for her grant. And
How did she genetically modify them, or did she just show up with a box of ladybugs?
no,
and say, "Here's what
it
you
was
do"?
kind of I think I don't think she did anything unnatural to the insects that I like I said, you can go to, what was it, Kentucky, KSCP, whatever, she won. She was, and then I went to the presentation. There was a lot of interesting stuff.
So how did she get the bugs back in the box?
You don't,
Not.
you don't, you're done. You're done. The box is open. I think and you can release a certain amount of population. And the life cycle of this bug is short enough that it does its job and then just naturally, that like there was no in-game threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got her money, and it was one of the few things where I walked out there going, like that. You know what I'm saying? And all the other stuff had to do with like, corporate uh like eye identification for horses was one that won, and money, chances for human beings to identify and make money on it. You know what I'm saying? But this one actually was nature being used for hempwood one. Hempwood won one of the
Nice.
grants of that. Got $100,000, and then another guy using red leaf was sorghum Sudan that grew like the rust that happens on sorghum Sudan. That red prussic acid is normally what happens in plants. It's a natural thing that happens, but this is called red leaf. You can Google it, and instead of using that red dye number 3 or pigments and makeup and whatnot, this can be used and ground up into a fine powder and be used in drinks. And
that's where red dye, a lot of it comes from, is actually bugs. Like there's a coccinellity or something.
Well, this just happened to come from a plant, which made it very. So I think he won, but the best one I really thought was that lady with those. I mean, I think she, and you know what, she was actually pretty modest. I don't know if she took the full 100K. I think she was a true startup, and I think she needed like 50K, so she didn't even apply for all of it. She probably would have gotten all of it if she asked, but it was a matching funds. It came from the Kentucky tobacco buyout. So I really thought that the best thing out of there, I don't like seeing Kentucky farmers' money going to
On farmers.
I want it to go to farmers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That money was meant for farmers. And if it goes to a horse owner,
See, I used
I
to
don't
grow
think it quite.
potatoes, and it's a big controversy, BT corn, for example. But BT comes from the gene. Love it or hate it, and I personally hate it. I have no problem saying that. But BT is a real bacteria. You don't have to add the DNA to a new organism. You can actually just use BT. When I would grow potatoes, the big problem was Colorado potato beetles. I would literally just take water that had a bunch of Bacillus thuringiensis BT in it. They would infect the beetles would die, nothing else would die. And so it was this great form of control where literally a human being, you could drink that water and not get sick because it only affects certain beetles. So,
I just popped in my brain. If you want to read about her, I think it's the Bluegrass Ag Tech Challenge Grant was what she won. And you can go see the winners of it all from last year and the year before. I think she was on the first year they did it. And I thought she was pretty cool. She seemed very humble and seemed right. I hope she wasn't opening Pandora's box, when we get eaten by a swarm of bugs later on that eat corn.
That was a movie, was it? They like
there's a
cured.
few movies.
Oh my gosh. God,
What was the one where
what
they,
hasn't
they
been a
like
movie?
the bugs? There was like these giant cicadas that attack people.
I don't remember that one.
Mimic.
The Day the Earth.
Mimic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Natasha Henstridge. Saw her naked. Nice. Thanks, Don.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember Natasha Henstridge?
Yeah.
No.
See, we're nerds. We're nerds. We're trapped.
Tying in with the previous question,
They made 2 of those movies.
all animals have different senses than we do. We have a certain skill set when it comes to perceiving the world, and animals have different skill sets. Bees, I could be wrong about the number, but we see 7 shades of color, and that everything that we see is a variation of it. Bees see like 14 because they have extra cones, I think it's cones. Mantis shrimp see like 21 colors. It's insane. Like they see a totally different world than us. And that's just vision. So the question I want to know is, do you guys think that instead of using technology to sense things, measure things, is there a way we can do that with animals or reverse engineer that?
I like to think so. I think our connection to animals and nature is the key. If the further we get away from it, I think the further we get away from opportunities and potential.
So if you're seeing
I
other
don't care if it's
colors,
a house plant or a dog. As long as you need to be connected to nature of some sort.
so if you're seeing other colors in the spectrum, and it's this certain animal or bug,
Mantis shrimp and bee.
okay, good. Mantis shrimp. How do you get the mantis shrimp to tell you what they're saying?
Yeah, that's
That's the
How you communicate with
You
them.
you hire Aquaman.
Smart, I'll say that.
Dr. Doolittle is
Aquaman,
what I
right?
was thinking.
Aquaman knows, right?
There's a lady on TikTok who has a mantis shrimp. She did a fun series of videos to see what its favorite color was, which again,
really?
we don't even know what color it really was. It was what we perceived as yellow. But it
Hmm.
flipping loved that yellow Lego that she gave it.
You've
Really?
watched too many videos.
Oh, I know.
Leo.
It's that
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
I watched a mantis strip destroy a crab yesterday on TikTok.
nice.
You seen that one?
Probably the same lady.
It's
Yeah.
a big
She does
multicolored
video.
mantis strip. I mean, it's just whack. I mean,
Yeah.
those things destroy
Oh.
anything you put in the cage,
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
in the
I would
tank.
not want to get hit by one.
I was reminded lately of a story I heard years ago about this parrot.
I know what
You
you're talking about.
know which one I'm talking about? I cannot think of the name of the
I can't
parrot,
think of his
but it
name,
was
brilliant little animal. Yeah.
it was amazing. I mean, it would like talk in sentences.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
was like,
kind of sad and also uplifting at the same time. That little parrot's last words were, "What's happening to me and where am I going?"
yeah,
Like, it actually said that. Like,
yeah. It's almost like it was
yeah,
no
What?
what was
Parrot
going on.
indeed,
It was just this parrot that was like that.
African gray.
African gray parrot, super smart, and I
Or
mean, it
super
would say
trained.
what color. No, it would.
They would have third parties ask him questions like, what's this made of? And he'd be like, metal. Like he was
Yeah,
insane.
it was like working out certain well, what's different, and show like three things, and it'd say color, and it would, it was just like all of these
So it's doing critical
reasoning
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing animal things I've
How
I
long
could
did
remember.
this parrot live?
Longer than most people.
Right, they have a long
Yeah.
lifespan.
Absolutely.
All right, I don't want to eat food now.
You're gonna eat a parrot later?
No, no, I'm just talking about
He's wanting
if
that
parents
purple
can,
shrimp.
if parents can do reasonable things, I'm just using logical thinking, maybe I should.
I mean, I used to keep chickens, and I gotta say I love chickens, but I have no problem eating them. They're so good.
They're dumb enough to eat.
Yeah.
I thought
Okay.
you were just gonna say they were mean.
Sometimes, but nothing more like.
Oh Lord, we're not even halfway
Goodness.
done with tonight.
Oh.
10 o'clock.
All right. So, Eugenia, you've got the next one about Maurice Ward's Starlight.
Just want to make sure time check.
Time
in
check.
For our
We're-
future.
When's he
Yeah,
turn?
we'll get through that real fast. Is Stanley Myers on? He's not. He might not. He might have. We might have missed him.
While you're talking, if you could see him with that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You want
And
to share Maurice Ward.
I can.
Has anyone heard of Starlight? So Maurice, he's an interesting fellow to spill the beans yet. He is a professional hairdresser and he did take care of women's hair. When he was not a professional hairdresser, he was tinkering and he was an inventor. He was, but when I had the Romans article, it was 2,000 years ago. And this was in the 1960s up to the 80s, and he actually died in 20.
Oh, wow.
So this is within most of our lifespans. He invented a substance that he said could withstand heat burning. He was inspired because there was a plane crash, which I even hate talking about, even this week.
Yeah.
There's a plane crash in England. He's from England, in Manchester. And they did not, 65 people perished. It was not because of the flames, it was because of the toxic fumes. And they perished within 40 seconds. And he wanted to come up with a substance that would not burn or have any toxic. So he did, and he went on a TV show called like Star of Tomorrow. And this is what he did. Are you ready for this? He took an egg and he coated it, he painted it with his substance. His granddaughter is who named the substance Starlight,
Okay.
which makes me think of Suddenlink or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
his
it
name
sounds
was like-
very techy, yeah.
So he painted this egg and then he used a blowtorch on the egg for 5 minutes on live TV. And then he took away the heat, cracked open the egg, and
Still raw.
it was still
Cool.
What was this? The stuff was called Starlight?
It's called Starlight because he did let his granddaughter name it. And this was interesting also.
What's it being used for now,
You
though?
could eat it.
What?
You could eat it?
Yes, he was the father of four daughters, and one of them said that they fed it to dogs and that it was edible. So this is similar to our water guy, car person. What happened to this gives me Sweeney Todd vibes.
I can
The
see
picture?
that,
Does
yeah.
it you?
A little bit with the razor. I think
Little
that's what he's
creepy.
on.
So he was, I believe, a genius. That was just kind of what I thought. But I thought to myself, I wonder if there was something about him that was eccentric. And he was. And he really battled conspiracy theories. And he battled somebody stealing his idea.
So what is it? So what's the mysterious part about him? Is he, did his substance never come to the light of day or
He
is it gone or is it being used currently right now? What's the deal?
They said he was missing flexibility and trust. He would not allow anyone to
Didn't know.
have.
Share it.
He did
So it
not
never went
let
anywhere.
go of the 11 herbs and spices.
Oh,
That's
He would never give it. So he agreed 2 years before he died with a company called ThermoShield, which is in California. And this gentleman just cultivated this relationship with this very paranoid, eccentric person. And they agreed that he would give him the recipe and he died. So the question is, did the secret die? Did the recipe die with him? 2 years after he died, his daughter sold everything to
Armor Shield.
ThermoShield,
Okay.
but they've never
Done anything?
created the product.
Is it still around?
sounds like it ain't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Star-
killed it.
Oh, if it's
I think-
edible, probably decomposed. Probably has to make it fresh regularly.
They've tried many times.
So the recipe with the thermos shield and it just died on the vine.
Sounds like aerogel that somebody made in their kitchen.
That sounds about right. Well, Don, what did the guy say? Is he in or out?
We're working on it.
Uh-oh. Good, I can talk about him cattle company.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell us all about him, Cal.
Just messing with you.
So for me, I wanted your input about what did you think about the name Starlight?
Good.
Yeah,
You like it?
yeah. It
don't
does
think
sound
it-
techy, but it's kind of nice when you know the origin.
Even though it was a heat resistant substance?
Yeah.
You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it made sense.
I think it's nice that he had grandkids because he sounds too crazy to produce.
What's the stuff that they put on the front of the nose of the shuttle and stuff? What's that
Oh, I
called?
know what you're talking
Shield.
about. Yeah,
I mean, it's a,
those panels, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like it's like when you ask the middle schoolers to name the bus and they're like Bussy McBus. or,
Yeah.
Bussy McBus.
Boat.
Wait, isn't
I agree.
Starlight a character in like DC comic books? Isn't
I think you're thinking of Starfire.
Starfire? Okay, you might be right. Yeah, that's it. With Cyborg and
Yep, that's right.
yeah,
Starfire, yeah.
and the Starfire, yeah. Starlight. Sounds like it belongs to like Elon Musk.
It makes me think of Star from the Lost Boys movie too. You know, the whole hippie parents thing. That's a good movie. It turned into a movie show. We've referenced a lot of films this evening.
Yeah, it's been really fun talking about conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
They killed the hairdresser.
So what did you think? I was out for a minute, so trying to see if we can.
Walk more bottles.
Yeah, I was watching models.
Yeah, as far as like, I wonder if him being a hairdresser actually helped. I wonder if there was something to do with the chemistry of stuff that he worked with or that inspired.
Yeah.
material.
He was very critical of other companies that developed hair care products.
Ah,
Well,
interesting.
most of them are flammable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
He did seem to
Speak
have
from
a problem with
experience.
fire.
Yeah, but he was all self-taught.
Had a few bouts with hairspray and a lighter when I was a kid. That was kind of fun for a little while.
But the water car and this guy are more modern for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it doesn't sound like his death was as much of a.
Yeah, he just got old.
Yeah,
yeah, he just got.
He didn't walk out of
died,
Cracker
but-
Barrel.
It sounds like if anything too, his concerns for conspiracy kept him from maybe
Yeah.
passing along what could have been
And
a
we
very
see
great
that a
invention.
lot with some of our students. They don't want to partner with people. They don't want to pitch investors. And it's like they're scared that they'll either get rejected or robbed. And that's a real fear. But it's like, is giving into that fear worth not capitalizing on your idea? Yeah, I think in some ways that's sadder than being murdered by
I
your
don't know,
competitors.
I've had people just be like, "Listen, I will burn it down before." I share it." So I think some people like they don't want to share it.
Huh.
They don't want it to, but he
According,
didn't want anybody to take his thunder.
according to grunge.com, they described this fella as excessively secretive and obsessively protective, incredibly stubborn, difficult person, not at all business minded, and utterly fearful that someone would steal his ideas.
Dang.
Yeah. Looked like paranoia took over. At least he sold it to somebody but sad it didn't go
Well,
anywhere.
sometimes that secrecy can be good to a degree, but yeah,
A healthy amount of caution,
yeah,
just being paranoid.
yeah.
Well, I think this would be a good time to launch into our statement. This is kind of a new thing, which is the Inventor Book Club. So me and Don and Eugenia, we were going to kind of mention our favorite books. And I really love the E-Myth. It's a fantastic book. Just quick
Yeah,
Google of that.
it's a real
Yeah.
good one.
I knew at least one person at the table would be like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Because it's just so great about the different personality types needed to run a business and how trying to fulfill all those roles will sabotage you ultimately. It's just a fantastic.
What's the name of the book?
The E-Myth.
E-Myth. Yeah,
E-Myth,
great
yeah,
book.
E as an entrepreneur. And yeah, I didn't care for the title, but everything after the title was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The part about the pie store was
Yes.
very, very, very
That was a good hook, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very real life to me, personally. Like you can take something you're passionate about and you love and enjoy, and you can certainly make it turn into a job,
Mm-hmm.
not a career, not a business. You're just in there. You've created a job for yourself. You're stuck in it. The business can't succeed without you. I actually use that to kind of help myself get out of the phase of thinking that Anderson Rogers Construction was my identity. Like,
Yeah.
it's not Teddy Rogers Construction. It's Anderson Rogers Construction. It has to be its own entity. It has to be a true business, and it can't be solely relying on me, or it's not going to ever succeed.
Absolutely.
So, great book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So, Leo, was it did you read it as a book or did you listen to the audio
Oh, I
version?
read it as a book.
Okay.
I'm
I
guessing
listened
you
to
listened to it as the audio?
Yeah.
I listened to the audio read by the author.
Oh,
and
nice.
That I like it. If I listen to an audiobook, if it's read by the author, then I feel like I get all the inflections and all the
You
The
definitely
audio
are
medium.
right. If it's narrated by the actual author, you're right. It's a better.
Interesting.
E-Myth Mastery. Is that
I
it?
think there's actually a series.
There's a series.
Yeah, there's
the E-Myth
Well, there's-
Revisited.
Yeah, there's
that's
a ton of them here.
I'd go,
E-Myth,
I would
HVAC,
go,
E-Myth
I'd go E-Myth
Revisited.
Oh,
Revisited.
dang, he's turned it into a book.
Well,
Wow.
he's got 15 on Audible.
So the E-Myth Revisited is the one with the pie shop. in it.
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
visited.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's the one.
E-Myth
It's a good book.
Revisited.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna download it
Yeah.
and start listening to
How
it.
about you?
Book that I've read recently is probably more for the female genre,
Hey, we got female listeners.
but it
viewers?
was called Imagine Big. I started reading it in March and I just finished it last week. And the reason why I like to have a book to read is for inspiration when I'm so tired that I don't feel like listening to something or resting my carpal tunnel. I will read. And I'll read out loud and my dogs like it.
No.
But it was all for inspiration. And so my recommendation is, even if you don't read that book, Imagine Big by Terry Savelle Foy, I do recommend that you keep an inspirational book. And does anybody have their favorite inspirational book?
It's cliche, but I really like Power.
I'll think about that one.
What's it called?
Power
Power?
of Now. Little
Wait,
weird
hold on,
German dude.
we've
yeah.
got to complete. What's
Oh,
your
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
book?
okay. Yeah.
Hear from you, Di.
Reinventing the Wheel. Trying to think of the name. It actually has two names. One title it sold for a while under was, and the one I read was Reinventing the Wheel. And the other one, the other title, same exact book, was Codename Ginger. And it's the story of Dean Kamen, the guy that invented the Segway.
Okay.
And he, this journalist followed him through the entire journey from startup to raising money to building a team to launching to failure to all of this. And I love, and as I was mentioning earlier, I love audiobooks, especially with the written by the author. I can read them while I'm driving. They actually, if I listen to a book, and this is funny because my wife will say, "Oh, I'll just go to sleep if I try to listen to that." And I'm thinking it keeps me awake. It really engages me. But I like audiobooks, and and it's hard to read a book. This was a book. I read the book Leo style, and yeah, Leo style. Well, I'll start calling it that now. And I just read through the page, could not stop, couldn't put it down.
Nice.
But it's very realistic. One of my best scenes in the book, because it's written almost like a novel, but again, it's a journalist. It's all real things that happened. And one scene in the book, they just raised a whole bunch of money, and you've got this whole big warehouse full of engineers, all like popping champagne corks, and oh, we've got the money now, we've got the money. And he stopped them all, and he said, "You don't understand. We just raised money to give us the ability to actually make money."
Yeah.
And actually, they never got to that point because everybody knows the rest of the story of what happened with the Subway. But it's a great book. I love it.
Bennett, I like this section so far.
I think business wise, I like to listen or read Alex Hormozy stuff.
Big fan.
It's kind of just cut through the bullshit, get over feeling sorry for yourself, and just get the job done kind of thing. Like
I'm reading his current book, actually.
with the $100 million leads,
Yep.
the new one.
Yep.
Yeah, so
You
I
got
got yeah, I do have it. So I started reading his gym launch secrets. That was where I started, and then now he's got $100 million leads, $100 million offers, and $100 million like offers, leads, sales. I don't know. I have to look back. I don't remember. It's basically just like, how do you get customers? How do you get in front of customers? How do you generate offers or create offers that people will actually buy stuff? How do you, take whatever this idea and concept is and get it into the hands of other people? And it breaks it down into just a very like simplistic way to think about it, so it doesn't overcomplicate it. And he's like,
When I got the book, I was actually disappointed at first.
Yeah.
I was like, I paid $30 for the Hungry Caterpillar because it's like,
Dude.
man, but it's like the Hungry Caterpillar, but procedure for making money.
it's so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it's easy, but it's just like so simple
Right.
the way he breaks it down. And I think if everybody were to actually put the time and effort into what he's saying,
Yeah.
then there's no reason you can't build or sell whatever it is that you have.
Special
yeah.
guest here.
Yeah.
Just trying to go on out.
Special guest.
Special guest.
You got any
What
favorite?
you got, Kevin?
I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of reading. I'm not very well read, but
No, you can listen. It's all right.
no, it's all right. I was just telling my wife this morning that I was talking about Adam Smith. Y'all going to new school, but some of his stuff still applies today.
Mm.
he wrote a book a long time ago called Wealth of Nations, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
the book when it comes
That
to
is
business and whatnot.
Hard slog of a read too.
It is, it's terrible.
Opposite of the Hungry Caterpillar.
It's terrible.
Murder somebody with it, yeah.
But I was just talking to her about, what I'm trying to accomplish and normally what's good for all the individuals equates to being what's good for the group. And you can't turn around these days without hearing about, SNAP benefits and people starving to death and whatnot. And I don't know, it just seems like my wife's sitting there trying to convince me to, basically donate, my hemp fed beef, to the public. It's like, I'm not against that, but we can do this and continue it. I'm saying? You just don't have to, I'm saying?
You can generate value.
I can generate value with, if in like I said, I've taught only 1,000 times and I'll keep saying it, if these vending machines get going, it should set everybody free. It really should. All these farmers that are stuck in where they're doing, and then you can help people get connected to better product at a lesser price. What's good for me will be good for everyone, and we can all come out on top. But tying back to the guy that made the car, I joke about it all the time with Don. I'm saying? If I do this, I think the cat will be out of the bag. They can't whack me.
Can't kill you.
They can't kill me.
Big
but-
beef coming after
Yeah.
Kevin.
It's a joke. I throw that around. Big Teflon. You ever see that guy that cooks things on steel pan, whatever? It gets a little thrown away with the big thing, big tire, big whatever. But there's something to it. But I don't think there's such a thing as big beef.
Thankfully.
It seems that way right now, but
I don't know, Lars lean beef.
she's from my hometown. I actually know her.
She might be a little ruthless.
Yeah,
Winchester?
she asked my mom to
Yeah.
partner up with her 20 years ago. My mom said no.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
And I called her when I started Hemp Cattle Company to ask her if she wanted to partner with me as a courtesy to what she did 20 years ago. And she said, Kevin, I've already done that. I don't want to do it again. But guess what? She's doing it again. She's selling beef off of her farm as a hometown. She's opened a restaurant in downtown Winchester that failed. But she still, and I've heard stories that she wants to build a processing with grant money in Winchester. But
Nice.
that was all the rage, a couple years ago when COVID and everybody was going crazy about it. I think it's simmered down a little bit. Because I think the market's kind of flooded right now with, but there's still, I think if you apply for that money, I think you can get probably 50 to 75% covered by the federal government. Is it not that high?
I don't know.
It's that high, I think.
Don't know enough.
They want more processors, But the question is are you going to make money? Are you going to be able to find the help to fill it and all that stuff? But yeah, Wealth of Nations.
I was wondering if you'd circle back on that.
What about you, Teddy?
I want to go Outliers. That was a real cool book. That, Malcolm Gladwell, I think it was. Like to me, it resonated with me. It said you just got to be smart enough. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the tallest. You don't have to be the fastest. And they give you the analogies of like Michael Jordan having an on-court dominance, but not being the tallest, not being the fastest, not being the most athletic, but he had all these qualities that all made him into that. And then they tell other stories, about like Bill Gates, location for him. He had access to computers before other people did, the University of Massachusetts. And then they talk about, just other ones where they studied and followed people who had super high IQs, and like a lot of those people who are off the charts smart didn't end up being successful, which they thought would equate to it. Instead, sometimes it required something more. And so, so I always think of that, and it resonated with me because I feel like I'm decently intelligent, but I am definitely not the smartest, and I'm also kind of ignorant when it comes to certain things, but I am charismatic. I do like to talk to people. I I'm pretty damn charming. So I use my likability and other strengths. And so I thought that was a great book. I love E-Myth too. But I did like this section because I listen to a lot of books. I don't read them.
No.
I have not opened a book in a long time, but I listen to a lot because I think effectively as a business, I told somebody this today, I said, it's the most important thing that I've done in my own personal career, my own personal growth is listen to books, gain perspective. And it kind of drives me, it interests me, it gives me unique talking points. First of all, it gives me other techniques to try. Because I mean, I'm not afraid of failing. That's all. I've done plenty of it, and I feel like when you learn new techniques, you fail and
Oh, yeah.
you learn and you sharpen your blades. So
Crap your pants and come up with a new plan.
that's right. Yeah,
Are
it's all right.
What are you listening to? It's Money Models is the new one from Hormozy. Is that the one that you're
That's
reading
the
now?
one. Yep,
The blue, purple, or green?
it's green.
Green. Okay, yeah.
If we share that on the group text, because I'm always looking for the next one to download. I just listened to How the Mighty Fall. Was the most recent one. But before that, I took a break. I listened to Rebel Yell, which is all about Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Somebody earlier was talking about not being likable and super secretive. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, yeah, that was Stonewall. But it made him effective in eluding the Northern armies for a long time and making the South, who was outmanned, outgunned, and definitely had a position that far few people followed and agreed with, be able to sustain in a war. It was because of how he kept to himself, and he did not tell people, even his closest people, what he was doing. So it made him very elusive and hard to capture and difficult to defeat.
Very cool. All right. Well, we have, after some technical difficulty, with us tonight, our featured inventor, Robert Meyer. Robert, thanks so much. I understand you've had some horrific hacking and technical difficulty, but we are really, really, really glad that you were able to join us tonight and talk to us. So we really appreciate that you're here.
Don,
Good deal.
Good deal. So tell Robert, tell us a little bit about yourself. And tell us a little bit about your product, the Path Scan, and I think you also might have another interesting story for us after that as well. So,
well, again, thanks for listening to me, and I apologize for jumping in here late. I'm about 30 minutes north of Waco on the Brazos River, and normally I'm in Houston. But my original product actually goes back before I invented the Path Scan Enabler to a product called Paraban. And what was happening was I was and still am, a microscope dealer. I'm an independent microscope dealer. And at the time I was working as a distributor for Leica out of Germany. We sold their microtomes and we sold all sorts of different products. And I walked into a lab at the VA and noticed one of the instruments had no paraffin on it. And when they cut tissue, they're cutting tissue in blocks. And it generates this enormous amount of paraffin. And I realized that this one person didn't have any paraffin. So I said, what are you doing to keep the paraffin from your instrument? And she gave me the name of the product. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to remarket that. So I did, went out and bought a bunch of bottles, came up with a jazzy name called Paraban. And I think
I remember that. And full disclosure, Robert, you and I go way back in the pathology laboratory industry.
Absolutely, Don. That's how we met. So anyway, I started giving this away, and they would spray this liquid on their microtomes. Paraffin wouldn't stick. And the next thing I know, my dad, one of my engineers, every Friday are in the back siphoning out of 55-gallon drums this chemical to put in spray bottles, and we sold them everywhere. And so that was my first real foray into products for pathology. A few years later, I'm getting ready to attend a pathology trade show in Galveston. And at the time, film recorders and the devices that created film, or excuse me, digital images from film cameras, they called them film recorders, were very hot products. And we had one from Polaroid, we were selling Kodaks, and we were selling, I think, Nikon. And I thought, gee, this is a lot of work to take a photograph through a microscope and then scan the image, digitize it, and put it into a computer. Now, this is 29 years ago. So we're sitting there getting ready and we're scanning all these slides and preparing to talk to the people the next day at a trade show. And my engineer, Matt Batchelor, says, Rob, why don't we just scan the slide? And I went, eureka moment. I popped the Kodachrome negative out of the little 2x3 slide, stuck in a sample, and doggone it, it worked on. And I went, oh my gosh, Matt, you just given me the best idea. I'm going to make a holder and we're going to scan 30, instead of 35 millimeter slides, 1x3 histology slides. So sure enough, the next sample we scanned didn't work. And I went, uh-oh, I've got to put in a neutral density filter. Well, try to find a company to make you a neutral density filter that small with plain optics that won't affect the focus. Well, I figured that out. I got it, and I made 200. I immediately sold 200. And I'm giving a lecture at the University of Texas Health Science Center showing these images I'd created with my PathScan enabler. And lo and behold, who was in the audience? A vice president of Polaroid. Because back then, you took Polaroid pictures through microscopes. And the next thing I know, he comes up to me and he says, Rob, why didn't you talk to us about this? You mean every time you sell one of your holders, you sell one of our scanners? Yes, sir. I said, I did. Your company turned me down flat. I also went to Nikon. I also went to Kodak. They thought it was a stupid idea and go away. Next thing I know, Don, Polaroid has given me an order for 1,200, and we were off to the races. Ironically, my two patents were copied by major competitors, and we ended up sending them a nice letter, saying we could indeed license this to you. And I got a nice apology letter from Nikon. And I'm not kidding, a $22,000 check. Whoa. I went, well, I said, we didn't even ask for any money. Unfortunately, the other company at the time sent my attorney a letter saying, because they were a $95 million startup, they would be suing us for somehow infringing their patent. And he asked me point blank, again, 29 years ago, did I have $250,000 in cash? And the answer was no. So we walked away. The irony was that company released their product and were closed down by the FDA because they didn't get approval.
Oh.
They folded the company and ironically sold to Leica, who I just happened to be a dealer for pennies on the dollar. And again, I was off to the races. And so that led me eventually to my third product, which I called Path Consult, because once you start inventing things, Don, as you know,
you can't stop, right?
Blood, you can't stop. No. And I keep looking. I'm working on another one right now, but you just can't stop. And so in the world of pathology, again, this is 19 years ago. They wanted to be able to transmit live video from their microscopes. Now, this is before Zoom. This is before WebEx, Teams, all of these products. And in fact, I remember when WebEx came out, I tried to become a distributor. I said, this is going to change the world. And the irony was, I figured out a way to do this. I had the hardware and someone else had the software, but I got a Dear John letter from my software supplier. And he says, I'm too busy with my crime scene database software. You'll have to go somewhere else, but I got a name for you. They're in Russia. So I called this woman in Russia, and I swear she was smoking a cigarette and drinking vodka. And it was like, what? Who are you? And I said, well, don't you have your device on the International Space Station? Yes. Aren't you sending back sonogram images to Earth? Yeah. And I said, well, a sonogram image is a lot like a video image. If I paid you to modify one of your devices, could you make it stream live video? And again, she asked, who are you? And I'm Rob Meyer with Meyer Instruments. She said, nobody. And she basically said, I'm going to hang up now. Nice talking to you, Mr. Meyer. But before, tell you what, write me letter. And I went, letter? No one writes letters to somebody in Russia. Give you my business? Okay, I had nothing to lose. So I sent her a letter, Don. And I'm not kidding, like 3 weeks later, I get an email and it's, hi, Mr. Meyer, I'm your local sales representative for this company. I'm here in Houston. Well, that's great. And I looked down at his name, and this is a little politically incorrect, but his name was Leroy. And I thought, yeah, this is just fake. So I didn't read the rest. I just went on about my day. And later on that afternoon, I said, maybe I should reread that email. And it said, again, Mr. Meyer, I really think you've got a great idea. Let's get together. Signed, Leroy Chow, PhD, astronaut.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I said, he's my sales rep? You got to be kidding me. So I Googled Leroy Chow. And sure enough, speaks Russian, speaks Chinese, speaks English. And I called him and I said, come out to my office. So long story short, 4 hours later, $50,000 of my money, I had a product. I showed it to the first pathologist. It streamed live video before anybody else. They bought it. Next doctor, they bought it. They bought it. We placed hundreds of these all around the country. I think MD Anderson Cancer Center here in Houston has the most, close to 25 now. And it just live streams. It's just, you connect it to a camera on a microscope, you put in an IP address, and it's a live streaming HD image. And they love it. You don't have to do anything. You just see it live. And you can add a microphone. You can do whatever you want. But this company has gone on and become very big. And I keep looking for more. So anyway, I'll stop talking. But those are my 3 inventions.
Well, that's a great story, and Rob, I'm so glad to have had a ringside seat to so much of that, because I remember when every one of those came out, and of course, just getting to know you over the years as well. So Rob, in your whole journey with those, what do you think was the hardest part of doing all that?
Well, believe it or not, the hardest part was getting a patent. That takes a long time, and it's going to be challenged. And the patent office actually has lawyers to challenge your own patent. But once we got over that hurdle, they said, wow, you're going to be covered carte blanche for a year, and you can do anything you want. And in that year, that's when I made the connection to the vice president of Polaroid, and it took off. The irony in microscopy, microscopes are going away. I mean, I hate to say that, and they're being replaced just like the digital X-ray machines. So years ago, Yeah, you talk to a, radiologist and he said, I'll never give up my film. It's all digital.
Yeah.
And microscopy, it's the same thing, Don. But the hardest part, even though you've got a great idea and you think it's the best thing since sliced bread, the pushback of negativity is just astounding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as an inventor, you see this. You go, I got a great idea, but no one else sees your vision. But once you get a few people understanding your vision, they snap it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've hit on the key with that. So Rob, I think you had one other interesting story. I didn't know if you were able to share it.
Okay, which one? I've got so many of them.
The one about the microscope or the
The
what?
was
one
it the comet? Yeah. Okay. So, what to your audience and to anybody watching, I do a lot of microscopy with NASA. Is it the NASA story?
No, this was somebody brought you something and it was real interesting. You were telling me about it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. So Don, you and I had talked about this.
Mhm.
In my office, I have microscopes and stereo microscopes, and they're different. A stereo microscope gives you a three-dimensional image, long working distance, and the image is erect and unreversed. So it's like looking with your normal eyes at a sample in 3D. And this individual came to the house one day and he said, Rob, I've got something that I want you to see. And I said, okay, what is it? And he said, well, he pulls it out and it's $100 bill. Is
That
this
was it.
story?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the story.
It's $100 bill. And I thought, okay, well, I've sold to, believe crime labs. We've got our equipment. And I've actually been to the mint, and I thought, okay, it's $100 bill. Well, it's in a plastic case. And he says, I'm going to give you a hint. It's on the back. Okay, I looked on the back. And in about a minute, Don, I spotted what appeared to be a miniature Eiffel Tower on the $100 bill. And I went, what? This is a miniature Eiffel Tower. He says, I will need to know if this has been stamped on this $100 bill, or was it the process of printing the $100 ink was on top of the Eiffel Tower picture. And I went, well, I can tell you that in about 5 minutes. So we went over to one of my stereo microscopes and showed it to him, and he about fell out of his chair because sure enough, the Eiffel Tower was on the paper first.
Wow.
And I went, oh my gosh, this is very, very rare. He says, well, do you know about the Del Monte $20 bill? No. The Del Monte $20 bill was created accidentally in the printing process. Somebody came in and ate a banana, and the label Del Monte somehow got into the printing process, and they printed a number of these $20 bills with a Del Monte image. The last one, I think in 2021, sold for just under $400,000. You can look it up.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. So I said, wait a minute. You've got more than one of these? He says, I have 6, and they're in sequence. And I went, oh my God. So I had to, explain what I did. I had to sign an affidavit proving that this was not fake, but he has something. And sure enough, Don, I thought, well, I'll just check eBay. I found one. It was a different location, but you can buy today for $50,000.
Wow. That's wild. That's amazing.
So look for $100 bills with a miniature Eiffel Tower. he'd had these bills for, well, since he came back from the war in Iraq. I guess he acquired them overseas, and he's been trying to figure out by anybody. And he just happened to stop at my shop. And so needless to say, he's a very happy, wealthy person.
Wow, that's an amazing story, and I think it fits really nice with tonight. Yeah, the technology you developed, or the technology that you're in to find that out, and that's literally amazing. And the journey, the path scan is just amazing as well. So, well, Rob, we really appreciate that, and we want to give you a hand for what you've done.
Well, thank you. If you have a moment, one other story that I can't even believe is true.
Okay,
And-
real quick, we run out of
Okay.
time. Real quick.
So somebody came in and they said, "I've got a rock with a face on it." I said, "Oh, that's great. We'll take a look at it. What is it?" Don, this was smaller than the grain of sand. And I looked at it and I didn't see the face. And finally, I did enough with the lighting. And sure enough, there's a face chiseled on rocks that are the size of grains of salt or of rice. Excuse me. He had bags of them. He found them on an Indian mound in East Texas on his property. And I said, "This was not created by man."
That is a strange one right there.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm waiting to see these going.
Yes.
Alien rocks. That's weird.
Alien rocks.
Alien rock, miniature alien rocks, just like those
Yeah.
giant ones in some island in Samoa, wherever the giant ones. They look just like that, but they're the size of a grain of rice.
That's
And-
wild.
Anyway, but thank you so much for listening to me.
Well, thank you, Rob. We appreciate it.
I'm going to join you.
Absolutely. Great, fantastic. We'd love to have you. You'd fit right in. I guarantee you.
Well, thank you all very
Much,
much.
Rob. All righty, thank you.
You have a good evening. Appreciate
You
it.
too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I think that almost wraps it up for us. We ran a little over, but I think it was well worth it. Any parting thoughts? Bennett, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or learn more about what you're doing, where do they need to go?
If you guys want to see what we're doing, just visit us at kinnovate.com. I work here in the office with Don pretty regularly, so reach out to Don if you need to get in touch with me.
Absolutely. Kevin, any parting thoughts?
If you want to get in touch with me, hempcattlecompany.com is my website. You can read about what I'm doing with sun hemp and some of the other inventions. About the old conspiracy about faces on rocks. I think that was like the perfect fit.
Wasn't it?
That was full circle.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to think anymore
Right.
after that, you know?
Pretty bizarre.
It is.
Diddy.
Yeah, if you want to check us out, andersonandrogers.com. Rogers does have a D in it, but we bought the domain to all the misspelled ones. Just wisely enough knew that a lot of people would leave that out. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook too. We do a lot of cool stuff. It's very visually appealing, and you get to see some really cool projects. Not everything makes the highlight reel. Always feel like reaching out. Reach out to me. I love to meet people and get out and
Your face
network
will be on a
and
tiny rock.
and in fact, I own Tiny Rocks with my face on.
What? Stop it.
Yeah, check us out, man, and reach out.
All right.
Sorry. Wait,
Almost. There you go.
I'm telling
No, I
you.
get it, dude. Yeah, you can find me on the 13thfloorpodcast.com. That's it.
All kinds of cool stuff.
EugeniaKelly.com.
13th floor.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for spending your Friday evening with us. We really appreciate it. And we hope you enjoyed this. We hope it was helpful for you. If you want to know more about what we're doing or be involved in our mission and our movement that we're creating, join us. kyinventors.org is the website. And we hope to see you at the next meeting, workshop, or whatever we're doing next on the internet. Thanks so much.
Everybody.
Thank you, Don.